Going live, you're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 on the Steam Deck and on the ROG Ally. How are you guys doing? First of all, thanks to Xbox for providing Gamepass for me to play this game. Unfortunately, if you're not playing Gamepass Cloud on the Steam Deck on Linux, SteamOS, Gamepass won't be working. So I installed Windows on the Steam Deck to be able to play the game. You can also get it on Steam if you want to. And yeah, I mean, it should work on Linux. The thing is, will it perform well enough for it to be worth playing on deck? We'll see. But again, I have Windows just to be able to play it on Game Pass. I'm not buying it twice. So here we go. That's the only reason. But performance should be the same on Linux, so don't worry. This is just for practicality's sake. This is going to be a nightmare, we'll see. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I have become death, the destroyer of Steam Decks. Do you have a fire extinguisher? I'm on it. I hope you like the FPS scanner I built for the Steam Deck on Windows. We're at 800p, so native res. If this runs, it's one of the impossible ports, definitely. So as you can see, it's at 15 watts. That's the maximum the APU supports by default. And the status, let's call this 800p low FSR3 performance. That's probably going to be necessary. We'll find out. It launched, that's good. Yeah, I mean, it's modern hardware. It should launch. The thing is, will it perform well? We'll see. It's compiling shaders. El juego tiene buenos gráficos, pero es aburrido. Bueno, no es para todo el mundo. Y está bien. Suele suceder. One FPS super ultra cinematic. Yeah, this is going to take a bit. Because slower CPU. But I'm happy to see again shader compilation before starting the game. It's not always done by everyone, especially Unreal Engine. That's a big jug. Yeah, it's a 6-liter thing. I need water. I'm a big guy. Is Steam Deck worth it? In my opinion, yeah, definitely. It's an amazing machine. It makes me play more games, despite not being the most powerful thing out there. Which games run better generally, Steam Deck or ROG Ally? ROG Ally destroys the Steam Deck when it comes to performance, especially if you're playing at 20 watts. It's like 15 FPS ahead or a bit more, depends on the game. Some games run significantly better, some others kind of the same. You just need to make sure it's at 20 watts, but battery life is like 90 minutes. Which actually on the Steam Deck is kind of like that on the LCD version when you're pushing it too hard. But the ROG Ally is faster. It's faster hardware, has double the core count and thread count, has a faster GPU, so yeah. Yeah, it's an emulation heaven machine. I agree with that. And it's very comfortable. I love the Linux interface thing. Is it possible to play games while charging? Yeah, definitely. I even played using a power bank. I have a 45 watt power bank that has, I think, 74 watt hours of capacity, and I can play the Steam Deck directly from that if I wanted to. How much battery on ROG Ally with games like Tsushima? Around 90 minutes. Usually 90 minutes max if you're playing a AAA game. How's it going? Doing fine, Roger. What about you, man? Yeah, sure, Corey. Not a bad idea, especially, I mean, if you can get the OLED, go for that one. It's a bit more powerful, very little, due to the extra RAM speed. But yeah, it's an amazing machine, just for the practicality of using it. Does it has bypass charging when batteries are fully charged? Yeah, they do. In the case of my Steam Deck, I've been using it for a while. Usually, I use it plugged in basically across the board. Sometimes I play on battery, but I'm mostly plugged in because I'm at home. And sometimes the battery stops charging like at 95%, and it's directly from the charger. It's not using battery. So it does have power delivery. Bypass charging, that is it. It even tells you, like, we're not charging the battery because you're playing off the wall. So when it comes to that, don't worry. It works great. What about temperatures? Well, the Steam Deck can run pretty hot. It can get into the 90-degree range sometimes. It's usually in the mid-80s, but you don't notice it because the part when you grab it doesn't get hot. But again, it's not like it's going to break. If it reaches like 95 degrees, it just will shut itself down, but no damage. I've been using it for 2 years, running it at 80 to 90 degrees. In summer, it's like 90 degrees all the time on the Steam Deck. And it's a bit noisy, but I mean, it's not a big deal. You use headphones and forget about it. Yeah, PTM 7950 thermal paste. If you repaste it with that, it stays into the 70 to 80 degree range. Yeah, and the OLED is much cooler. That's true, Shogu. The OLED Steam Deck, way cooler, way more battery life. Definitely. Yeah, the Steam Deck OLED, 2-3 hours of battery with Tsushima at 40 FPS. I imagine that was the case. Okay, it's not... Why 11... Well, 1229 by 768. What's wrong with this screen? Okay, whatever. Let's call it 800p. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, it's a little bit below 800p. I don't know why. Windows being Windows. 768 low. Custom upscaler, let's use FSR3. Doesn't look amazing, but hey, quality. Performance. Variable rate shading, yes. Low settings. Doesn't go below low settings, by the way. Yeah, weird resolution, but it's 16 by 10. That's probably why. Okay. Okay, guys, take a deep breath, relax, and let's see if it works. I'm afraid. Sí, estoy en Windows por el hecho de que estoy jugando en Gamepass. Yeah, guys, I'm playing on Windows because I'm playing this game, the Gamepass version. But on Linux, it should run the same. Oh, God. I cannot say I'm surprised, though. But one thing that I'm happy about is that it uses almost the entire GPU frequency. But man. I mean, it was expected to be like this. I might actually swap to 720p. Yeah, this is not 1 FPS. I'm guessing actually the OLED maybe gets 3 FPS ahead. This game is probably super heavy on memory bandwidth. So let me do one change. I'm going to go for 720p. So you're going to have bars on the top and the bottom, but that's okay. Still better than Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah, that's the fun part. From a technical standpoint, this is way more advanced than Dragon's Dogma 2, but Dragon's Dogma 2 runs like absolute trash in comparison. Yeah, this is cinematic, without a doubt. Yeah, it's still pretty impressive that it actually can be over 20 FPS. But still, you probably want it to be playable. Okay, 720p, FSR3 performance, variable rate shading on, and everything on the absolute lowest settings. Let's go. Do you think Steam version under Steam OS would work better? I don't think it will be much different, honestly. It's probably going to be the same.
The one whose voice cuts through the chaos. He is her next side.
I don't know, being...
Her path.
How to say?
Bathe in blood. Her sword will save.
If I'm being hopeful, yeah, that's what I was looking for, hopeful, maybe a couple extra frames, but it's not like Linux is going to fix this. The game by itself is very good looking and super demanding. Use a streamer with around 30. Was he playing in a effect heavy area like this one, or was he playing the prologue? Because this runs way worse. The intro? Okay, then this is way more demanding than the intro. And maybe he was playing on a Steam Deck OLED. So this is the LCD deck, which can be a big difference. When it comes especially to games, modern games, due to the RAM being so much faster. The RAM being so much faster, considering it's an APU, it's going to help on both the CPU and GPU performance. It's not going to be night and day, but on a game like this that's so demanding, it's probably going to make a noticeable difference. Yeah, this is a console experience. This must be so hard to play. No, actually, well, I played a very big chunk of my life at 10 FPS. So. Also keep in mind the game's just released with a couple patches, it might run better on every PC. I mean, it's a game that tries to push the visual limits. It's not like they can patch it up right away without lowering the settings. And it's a game that has ray tracing. Come on, man. It's a ray tracing only game. You're going to kill that console? That's what I do. Yeah, an official frame generation will do the job, definitely. Yeah, it's Lumen, it's nanites. This makes sense, guys. Just for the sake of it, let's try the intro of the game. Yeah, this should do. Yeah, I mean, they could optimize it further, but what else can you do? This game has Lumen, Nanite.
He's wounded. He won't try anything.
Yeah, I mean, the sample count, maybe, but the game will look more grainy. I don't think they're going to do much.
Should have thrown you overboard.
Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't know how they could improve it much further. Do you think this is a sign the Steam Deck is become a worse value product? I mean, if you get a Steam Deck, you probably are not planning on playing AAA games all the time. And it was going to happen eventually. I'm actually playing more older games on the Steam Deck. But when it comes... Yeah, look at this. If you're playing the intro, it's a bad representation on what's actually happening. So that's why somebody talked about some streamer was saying it's 30 FPS. Well, the intro is 30 FPS. But the intro is not the full game. The intro, you're on a beach that has no foliage.
Don't listen to the dead, just move onwards. Find the survivors.
But again, you're probably not going to buy a Steam Deck thinking, oh man, I want to play ray trace games at 40 FPS. It's not realistic. Okay, so good to see that the intro is not representative on how the game actually runs. But again, with today's technology, I don't think we can get... I mean, with the chips we have right now, yeah, you can, on the ROG Ally, you can push it further, whatever, but you're using more power. So I'm guessing the next generation of integrated graphics are probably going to get this to 30 FPS. But right now, Valve is waiting for that big jump in hardware.
And she will free him.
Can you turn off those ray tracing features? No, it's part of the engine. It's how it was built. If we turned off Lumen and Nanite, first of all, you probably wouldn't work because the game is designed around it. And without Lumen, you're probably going to have no lighting whatsoever. So the game will be a black screen. There's probably some backlighting somewhere, but what I'm trying to say is having no ray tracing is not an option. It's what the game is built with. So that's what I'm trying to say. And it was not going to last forever. It's a 2-year-old device now, and it's a mobile device. I mean, the fact that this game launches is impressive, actually. But it was to be expected. It was never meant to be for... I mean, super high-end Unreal Engine 5 games. Remember that Unreal Engine 5 became... I mean, the first Unreal Engine 5 released after the Steam Deck came out. I mean, it's playable if you don't mind dropping frames below 30. Personally, I want it to at least be 30 FPS. At least, if I wanted to play this game. Does it work? Yeah, but you're into the 20s. Yeah, if the game ran at 16:9, good luck, soldier. That's why we have black bars. It's not art. It's just to do performance, to get better performance. Let's try ultra performance and swap to the ROG Ally. Yeah, you missed the graphics card test. It's on the previous livestream. On PC, as long as you don't have a 16 series card or lower, you should be good. So ultra performance just as a last resort. Yeah, I think we're memory bandwidth limited actually. So if you play at ultra performance, you can see those pixels fighting each other, but we're still dropping frames very, very low, which is to be expected. So with the all that is possible to get 30s, maybe you can get closer, but I cannot guarantee it. But it's definitely going to be a way better experience than this, just because, again, the fact that the OLED Steam Deck has way faster memory bandwidth, which directly affects the GPU and CPU, especially the GPU, because it's directly correlated. The RAM is shared between the CPU and GPU. It's probably going to be closer to 30. But again, if you're watching videos of this game on the Steam Deck or anything, make sure they're playing like in one of these combat sections, not at the very beginning when you're on a beach. That's not demanding. And it's not a good representation, so try to be wary on that. That's the game STUTTER. So far good. A little bit shaky here, but we are basically at the maximum. We're using all the available memory on the Steam Deck, so we are limited by RAM here. We're using 13 gigs plus 2.2 gigs on VRAM, and the maximum memory, the memory we have is 16. So we're using every single chunk of memory. It's probably running on the page file. So on the Steam Deck, I wouldn't recommend it. At least not on the LCD Steam Deck. So I think it's time to swap to the ROG Ally. So one sec. Just for the fun of it, I'm going to swap my... Oh no, I cannot do that. Let's swap the background. So we are on the Steam Deck. Let's jump into the ROG Ally. All right, you should hear me now. Can you hear me? Yeah, don't play this on Steam Deck. There's no need. It's unnecessary. Not worth the effort, I think. I would even say that you don't need 30 watts to get playable frame rates. Let me see on the smaller screen. Yeah, guys, if you want to see it super quickly on the Steam Deck screen, it's still mid-20s. And it's at 85 degrees Celsius. So yeah. Anyway, let's jump into the ROG Ally. Let me turn the Steam Deck off so I can launch the game. Still, good attempt. Thank you, Steam Deck, for everything that you give us. Not playable. All right. Okay, I'm turning it on. And again, thanks to Xbox for providing Gamepass for me to be able to play this. Gamepass provided by Xbox. That's why I installed Windows on the Steam Deck. So apologies about that. I didn't have much of a choice. But it should run basically the same on SteamOS. Yeah, thank you, Steam Deck, for suffering for our goodness. So on settings, I'm going to start with the docked experience, which means we can increase power. I don't know what's wrong with my HDMI. Give me one sec. Sometimes my monitor likes to freak around. All right. And we're going to start with 1080p with FSR performance, FSR quality. Let's be stupid. Low settings. And I'm sorry about the flicker. I don't know what's wrong with the screen. Stupid trash. Windows sometimes with capture cards. I don't think it will run well at 15 watts. I mean, don't even use 15 watts on the ROG Ally. Use 20. You still get like 90 minutes of battery. Performance is way better. Oh, and I forgot. Let's see, what am I using? I usually, when I'm playing portable, connected to the screen, I'm playing at 25 watts. But in this case, let's push it to 30 watts. I'm not using turbo mode because it gets to 95 degrees Celsius. It's not practical. You get 2 frames more than 30 watts, so it's pointless. 30 watts plugged in. All right. Yeah, guys, don't use the turbo mode plugged in, the 30 watts ultra turbo mode, because it boosts to 50 watts for like 2 minutes, then it drops down. It's a waste of time. Yeah, 15 watts. I mean, if you do 15 watts, don't use the profile. Just use the manual adjustment way. But what I mean by that is, hang on. What I mean by that is don't use the factory settings. Use a manual setting and put every single one of these at the wattage that you want to use. Would you be getting the Ally 2? It's an Ally X. The Ally X is not an Ally 2. Okay, so we're at 1080p right now. Let's see if I can cope. As you can see on the CPU, it says 30 watts. Yeah, this game has ray tracing you cannot disable. Exactly. It has lumen and nanites from UE5. Okay, so quality. I'm guessing this is going to be lower digits. So let's try 1080p, FSR quality low. Maybe I'm being a little bit too generous with the settings, but that's okay. We're just giving it a shot. Let me see if the audio is on streamer mode. Good. And let's go to the battle. Is this going to be rough? We'll see. Okay, it's using a lot of memory.
The one whose voice cuts through the chaos.
Yeah, to be expected. Although, what? 30?
She will.
Okay. This is 1080p, by the way. Let's try performance FSR. Let's see. Guys, I'm on 1080p. I'm being an asshole to the ROG Ally.
Bathe in blood, her sword will sing, and she will free him. Or die trying.
Hey. This is better than I expected. Performance FSR, yeah, whatever, but I'm playing on 1080p, guys. I know it's upscale, but still. What the hell? Of course, you're not going to play at this wattage on a battery. I'm going to show you battery settings in a moment, but this is super impressive. What the hell? I'm doing fine. What about you? This is insane, guys. What the hell? Otro que estoy viendo el juego en sí es menos intensivo que el benchmark. ¿Qué benchmark? ¿Vos te referís a esto? Lo que pasa es que estoy en el medio de un combate. O sea, es bastante demandante esta parte. There's some frame time skip there, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect. But we're on 1080p. So, again, I'm being a little bit too aggressive with the Ally here. Yeah, some stutters here and there. Yeah, there's some drops. I wouldn't play this on 1080p, honestly. I think 900p, when plugged in, makes more sense. So 900p. Yeah, this is Z1 Extreme. Again, in my opinion, it's not realistic to have 1080p on a portable machine like this, but we're just stress testing the hell out of it. Okay. 900p balanced FSR. Okay. Okay, this is better. But I'm super impressed with the results so far. And also remember that this part is pretty demanding. Yeah, XeSS still not enough. I think it's pretty good actually. Let's use XeSS like you guys requested. Oh look, there's more presets for... Okay, XeSS quality. What resolution is this? 900p. Believe it or not. Hey, actually, you're right. XeSS runs better, although it's a little bit too soft. Cool, but the pixel count is higher. Yeah, actually XeSS guys, all the way. So maybe this means that I can do 1080p with XeSS, right? So interesting, XeSS performs better on this one. Need to retest the Steam Deck now. I tried XeSS on the Steam Deck. It was basically the same. Yeah, this is way better. I mean, way better, we're 3 FPS ahead. But in this case, it's the difference between 20 something and 30 FPS. Still not perfect, of course, on 1080p, but again, it's 1080p. And here it's dropping, so I wouldn't target 1080p on this one. My advice so far is quality XeSS on 900p when you're plugged in. That's a thing to keep in mind. Let's keep it unbalanced. It looks good enough. Variable reshading, yes. And let's try to adjust the presets a little bit. I think if we keep shadows, GI, volumetrics, and all that on medium, we should be good. I know. Sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to do it anyway. And thank you so much, Spiral Blades, for the $5 Australian donation. Thank you so much. And thank you also to Aditya AR for becoming an awesome supporter. Thanks for the support. He says Dex runs the same on Linux as Windows. Ally is fine 900p XeSS with a bit of RIS for sharpness. Okay, you have it on Steam. Have it on the Steam. Okay, thanks for the heads up, Spiral Blades. That's super useful, and thank you for your support. It's super appreciated. Low volumetrics. So 900p, XeSS balance, medium settings, low volumetrics, and GI. Sorry, a lot of text. I know. Yeah, RIS is this, guys. It's oh, I don't have it here. It's basically a sharpness filter. Okay, let's try it like this. Balance XeSS, 900p, medium settings, low volumetrics, low GI, low shadows. Wish me luck. No, this is too much, I think. Okay. Yeah, I think that I went a little bit too high on textures.
What is your name? I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense to go for low. Yeah, it's way too much for the ROG Ally. Maybe at 720 we try higher settings. Let's go back to low. I mean, just the fact that it runs like this, it blows my mind. And on low, it also still looks pretty good. Yeah, the Ally X will be interesting. Hopefully we have more system RAM. I think that's what... And more battery life, please. Okay, that's way better. 720p 60? No, I don't think so. But we can try.
She is coming. Can you feel her?
Yeah, Series S might be memory bound. Uh-oh, I think a very demanding area is going to happen any second now. And I think I should restart the game also. Yeah, it's too bad that the Ally X won't have an OLED panel. That's super disappointing. All right.
Come on.
I'm impressed. I'm super impressed.
It all just stopped.
Yeah, it's daybreak. You'll have to hide from the light now.
Are you sure they're playing with XeSS performance at 30 after the intro? Okay, before I finish the stream, we're going to retry.
Let's go.
If you're so sure about it. Yeah, as you can see, that was one of the demanding moments when you're having combat and all that. So as you can see now, we're into the 40s actually. Let me very quickly try the turbo mode, the one that destroys the temperature. So we're at 30 watts, 49 FPS. And if I go to the turbo watt at 53... Okay, yeah, we get like 4 FPS more. It's a big difference actually, but you get 90 degrees Celsius. So let's go back to the main menu. And let's try this on other moments. Like here. Better than Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah, the turbo mode 30 watts makes no sense at all. Yeah, you get 3 frames more. But it goes into... How to say this? Oh man. And Senwa's face is flickering again. Yeah, to be expected. So as I was saying, the turbo mode gives you a few extra frames, maybe 2 or 3 at most. But the SoC gets like 95 degrees Celsius. I know you're plugged into a screen, to the charger, whatever, but the temperature is so high that I would be afraid. It's also super noisy on the turbo mode 30 watts.
I need to find out what it is.
You're mad.
But as you can see, guys, outside of combat, that super heavy combat we had, and by super heavy I mean the entire screen was effects, that's when it kills it. So we gotta be careful when benchmarking this, because when you're moving around and all that, it's okay.
But you need him.
No.
Yeah, FSR 3.1 will be amazing.
Need him alive.
He will try to escape.
She has.
Go on then. Do it.
Yeah, 25 watts is similar to 30 as well.
Just coming.
I'm just doing 30 watts because people otherwise would be annoying.
Just moments ago.
What do you think Switch 2 would be in terms of performance? Well, if the rumors are true and it ran the Unreal Engine 5 demo Matrix Awakens, then it's going to be pretty impressive. Do you think I should finish Hellblade 1 before playing Hellblade 2? Yeah, definitely.
For that,
You definitely should.
stay alive.
So again, as I told you before, oh yeah, we're getting 40 FPS. Yeah, but this part is not as demanding as combat with heavy effects.
What happened here?
But the Steam Deck was below 30 in this area as well, so
Dead bodies everywhere.
yeah. Anyway, let's try 720. Let's try it on without upscaling first. And then we try the unplugged settings. Hiro, ¿todo bien? Also, I need Mario at 4K, right? Yeah. So 720, XeSS off, low settings. As you can see here, we might increase it if we can.
This is like what happened to your village.
Okay, native 720. Although, if we're getting 30s here, we're going to get 20s in the demanding area. So even at 720, I would say probably you want to use FSR or, well, XeSS. Let's try it on ultra quality, actually. Maybe on quality. There we go. So, quality XeSS, low settings, plugged in. Again, it might look blurry AF, but on the smaller screen, you can kind of get away with it. Although XeSS I think looks a little bit too soft.
Look away.
Sí, muy temprano hoy, Hiro. So let me see if I can increase the settings maybe to medium with low GI, low volumetrics. Yeah, low GI and low volumetrics. And let's see how it goes. Okay. Okay. I think this could work. You can do 720p 30 native. Are you sure about that? I tried it. Can you actually disable upscaling without using TSR, I mean? That's what I'm concerned about. Or maybe we can use dynamic res if it works. Doesn't seem to do anything though. Yeah, TSR just kills performance on this one. XeSS 43, FSR 3. Yeah, FSR 3 runs worse than XeSS on this one. So native, you could do it, but it's going to drop eventually. I could even use this as anti-aliasing. Interesting. But it still looks pretty soft. Yeah, XeSS is marvelous. Okay, let's use TSR. I mean, this would be native 720p. But I mean, again, nothing is happening here. As soon as you enter combat, it's going to drop. So I would stick to XeSS quality, maybe ultra quality. On something like this. Yeah. But again, we're plugged in, so.
Why do you want to look?
There's nothing you can do.
She wants to
So
remind
yeah.
herself of the past. She wants to live.
Well, this part doesn't look correct, actually.
They enslaved people.
Yeah, hang on. I need to restart the game. Graphics broke. I changed so many settings that it kind of broke. It won't be doing 4K even with DLSS. DLSS takes 5 to 8 milliseconds. Do you mean frame generation? The game is already running. What? There we go. I hate when games don't exit right away. I like full screen like previous Hellblade game. They make full... Yeah, I mean... There's going to be a mod to disable the black bars, but it's just going... I'm pretty sure it's going to destroy performance. That's why they don't allow you to remove it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, lots of artifacts. I don't know what happened there. I think I broke the game for a moment. Also, some of the mods that I love using in video games is skip intro. Okay, we keep it like this. And let's see what happens. Hopefully now we don't have artifacts. Whoops, I think I got to the wrong area. Yeah, wrong area. Sorry, guys. It's actually running way much better on Steam Deck OLED. I mean, it makes sense that the Steam Deck OLED runs it way better than the normal Steam Deck. The memory bandwidth difference is pretty big. With SteamOS, yeah, I don't think SteamOS is that big of a difference here. Maybe less stutter, but it's still below 30. Yeah, the better RAM, exactly. On the Steam Deck OLED, we have faster RAM, and that RAM is the one that is used by the GPU, by the CPU, is shared there, and the faster the RAM there is going to improve the GPU performance, and the CPU performance is going to be better. So, on a game that is so demanding, it's definitely going to make a difference. And it's a 6nm chip as well, yeah.
He doesn't see the signs.
But again, not everyone has the OLED Steam Deck. I hate that there's so few people doing videos on the Steam Deck LCD. Because the OLED is so much more expensive, at least in my country. Most people are probably going to, for budget reasons, going to get the LCD one.
Not. But we need him alive.
He will try to escape.
She has.
Go on then. Do it.
But, alright.
Rage get the better of you.
The rage is coming.
Yeah, you can load it. You can load this on SteamOS if you have it on Steam.
Just moments ago he tried to kill you.
But way better.
Saved him.
On OLED, yeah, it's basically 3-4 frames. But those 3-4 frames, if we're talking about 24 FPS, it's closer to 30, so that's probably why he says way better.
Waiting to die.
But sometimes it bothers me how overblown the performance difference on those devices is.
For that, you'll need to
But yeah, it's the difference between 26 and 30. Those 3-4 extra frames. And I'll probably play this on low, not on medium.
Evil is here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Medium looks better, but
Everybody has died.
if you're plugged in, you probably want to play at 900p.
He's everywhere. It's happening again. This
Valve should give a free OLED to Santiago. It would be nice. Because I could compare the 3 devices. Yeah, in here, I don't know what's going on in this building. Why it's so bright in here.
They took Dillian. Your beloved Dillian.
Maybe it's a bug.
He died because of them.
Do you remember?
They took him from you. Your Dillian. They killed him.
So, okay. We need to now play on battery because, let's be honest, most people are not going to be hooked to a wall. So, what would I say for... if you're plugged in? Well, if you're plugged in, you have multiple options. The first one, I would say, is 1080p on performance FSR at the lowest settings. Which, again, lowest settings in this game looks amazing. So 1080p, XeSS performance, low settings. Again, guys, it's a handheld. But again, most people are not going to play plugged in. And this is basically one of the most visually striking games this year. So low settings, 1080p, performance XeSS. And while in here you'll get the 30s. When there's more demanding stuff on screen, it's probably going to drop into the upper 20s.
He is dying again. Face it.
You need to face it.
Focus.
You need to look at it.
Face the past. There are 3.
So that's something to keep in mind. 1080p is not perfect.
All of them. All of them.
So I would probably, I mean, it's an option if you don't mind the drops. But I would personally do 900p. But again, the option is there. Then 900p, I would do probably... Buen día, Juan. On 900p, I would do quality or balanced. Probably balanced to avoid any of those drops. So 900p, XeSS balanced, or quality. Up to you. On low settings as well.
Memories. Be careful with the past.
And you're a bit above the 1080p numbers, which is good. You're farther away from the low 30s than on 1080p. I would say this is, in my opinion, this is how we should play it plugged in.
Place.
You have to
Although some battles
See it
might
fully.
drop into 29 maybe.
She's getting closer.
Yes.
And this game, I'm using XeSS because it runs better in this game. And it looks better. FSR 3 has way too many artifacts.
Hard, yes. 2 more to go.
And it runs worse. So why would I use FSR in this case? And then the final option would be 720p quality XeSS, and you can increase the settings a little bit. So you can do low shadows, low GI, low volumetrics, and the rest on medium at 720. Let's call this mid-low. And you can actually push it pretty well. If you do not want to be this close to 30, put it on low. And that's the final option. Yeah, on the smaller screen, it actually looks pretty good at 720, but we are on plugged-in settings, so... Again, if you want to go for low, that's pretty good. You're going to have a way more stable experience, especially in combat, which is an issue in general. So yeah, let's swap into battery mode. That means that I'm going to unplug the charger for the uninitiated. Let me change my Wi-Fi. I'm pretty far away from that one. Come on, load up. Yeah, I don't know why Asus decided to put a 1080p screen. Fucking idiots. If they put a 720p screen, it would be perfect. But no, they had to put a 1080p screen at 7 inches. Fucking idiots. I hate them. Maybe because of Windows. No, I can use Windows on deck as an example, and yeah. Alright. So when we unplug the charger, what does it happen? Well, you can no longer do 30 watts. You can do maximum 25, but it's a waste because it's a small improvement to performance. And you get no battery life, basically. So with 20 watts, you get like 90 minutes of battery, which is usually what I get on the LCD deck on a demanding game. So this is the real test. Let me lower this back to 20 watts. So the APU is locked to 20 watts. And we're definitely not doing 1080p. So let's go. The same reason why ROG Ally X mid-gen refresh won't feature OLED screen. They want to give VRR. Yeah, I mean, it's way more expensive to have an OLED screen. What is VRR? Variable refresh rate. That means that you won't get any screen tearing because you're basically... The monitor adjusts the refresh rate depending on the frame rate. So you can get, I don't know, between 48 and 60 FPS, and the screen won't tear. It will look super smooth. And I think on a handheld, it's a good choice. I wish the Steam Deck had VRR. But again, I think it was a very stupid decision from Asus to put a 720p, to put a 1080p screen on the ROG Ally. I think 720p would have been the perfect fit. So we keep it like this, 720p, quality, global preset on low. And let's see if we can get playable frame rates. Again, this will give us 90 minutes of battery, give or take. And we're at 20 watts. Let's try this chapter first, and then we try the combat stress test. Yeah, 900p screen would also be nice, but we're talking about performance here. If we put a 720p screen, the 720p screen, you have a low pixel count, and it's easier for newer gen games especially. Does using 720p on a 1080p screen look worse than native 720p screen? In my opinion, yeah, because you're doing some linear upscaling there. So yeah, it doesn't look so good. It looks less sharp.
What are you doing?
There's something here. I need to find out what it is.
At least it's not as insane as the Legion Go 1440p screen. Yeah, I think on the Legion Go they did that because they want, if you use 800p with integer scaling, you're going to get like the Steam Deck resolution without much of a blur. But still, yeah, I thought it was a stupid idea as well. Yeah, 1600p, not even 1440p. So it's not meant for the native resolution. That's definitely
He will try to
not the point on that one.
Go on then. Do it.
let the rage get the better of you. The rage is coming.
A portrait display. And I'm noticing some stutters.
Just moments ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that it looks bad 720p on 1080p. Considering the size of the screen of the Ally, it looks good.
How does it feel?
But it will look even better if it was native 720. That's what I'm trying to say.
When this heals.
Rui Neves, yeah, I hope Ninja Theory doesn't get shut down as well. But from what some people have said, apparently, they already greenlit the next game. So we might be safe. We'll see. Try this game with PC. I already did it.
You must discover what is happening. What evil is here?
Cutscenes are real time.
What happened here? What happened here? Everybody has died.
All the people butchered.
Dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah, Microsoft is in a spree of closing studios.
Us. Do you remember?
Do you?
But again, if you're looking at handhelds, on a 7-inch screen, 720p is fine.
Took Dillian.
Mostly again for performance. I mean, look at how it runs at 720. This is great.
They took him.
It's happening again. It's him. There. Face it.
You need to face it.
Focus.
You need to look at it.
Face the path.
It doesn't last long. Well, I mean, it's 90 minutes of battery like this. And if I'm playing on a Steam Deck LCD at full throttle, like on a game like this, it's also 90 minutes of battery. Of course, if you're playing lower end games, the battery lasts way longer on Steam Deck because you can go for a lower wattage. So it's all up to you and you want and what you want to choose. So be happy that there is competition. Otherwise, would be screwed. Okay, it's time for the stress test. What is the stress test, you might ask? Well, it's combat, basically. So let's see. This is when it should... I mean, if it runs well in this section, it should be fine everywhere. 15 watts? No, 15 watts is a bad idea.
The one whose voice comes
You get maybe 20 extra minutes of battery, but that's about it.
sign. The next step on her
And you get a big performance hit in comparison.
bathe in blood, her sword will sing, and she will free him.
It's funny because the performance mode has worse battery life because it can boost the CPU past 15 watts. Oh, you meant the stress test? Well, maybe. By stress test, I mean in a place with very demanding... Okay, this is fine. Wow. Okay. If it runs well here, it should run well everywhere. And you have 90 minutes of battery, give or take. But just for the fun of it, I think I'm going to try 15 watts, just for your amusement. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And also, I know that I'm using upscaling at 720p, but on the smaller screen, you're not really going to have much of an issue. Okay, good thing that I died. And it looks pretty good, yeah, I agree. I mean, I love that low settings looks so good nowadays. Okay, let's do 15 watts. Just for the hell of it, why not? 15 watts for the memes, exactly. Which, again, this 15 watt manual configuration is not going to be the same as the 15 watts profile here. The 15 watt performance profile can actually boost past 15 watts, so keep that in mind. So 15 watts, as you can see on the CPU, it says 15 watts. I'm going to make it bigger so you can see it. There we go. 15 watts locked. And when it comes to battery, we're using 25 watts. So 5 watts less than the 20 watt mode, of course. So that's pretty good. All right, let's continue. Okay. Yeah, 15 watts, it drops below 30 a little. It's not super bad, actually. I was expecting worse. But definitely I would play this at 20 watts. Maybe, you know what, let's do best of both worlds. Let's do 18 watts. A lot of people recommend 18 watts, actually. 18 watts should be a nice improvement. But not bad, I thought it was going to be like 10 FPS at 15 watts. So 18 watts. Okay. Oof. So this should give you 90 something minutes of battery, a little bit more than the 20 watt thing. So 18 watts should give you, again, an hour and a half, a little bit longer maybe. And it still performs well, actually. 18 watts I think is the best so far. And if you don't care about losing some battery, you can put it at 20. What the hell? He was spamming access. Yeah, also a 30 FPS lock is highly recommended. Yeah, definitely. But again, personally, I would do 20 watts. Although here, guys, I'm super impressed. XeSS performance, why? Well, actually, that's a good point. Maybe on battery, you want to use balanced upscaling, but we can already do pretty well with quality. So I'll do it for the memes as well. So this will be the maximum battery experience with a 30. Let's do a 30 FPS cap as well using Riva Tuner. Because the Asus FPS cap is absolute trash. So we go here to this program. It's a third-party thing. We put it at 30. And .30 FPS cap. So XeSS balance, low settings, 18 watts on battery, 30 FPS lock. And let me show you in real time what the battery is drawing. So at the top right corner, you can see how much the battery is actually drawing. Includes the screen, includes the SSD, everything, plus the CPU. The CPU is at 18 watts max. So this will be the battery life option, basically. Although it's not a big difference with our previous configuration, actually. It's still close to 30 watts of battery drain. Which means that honestly, it's not going to make a huge difference on battery. But it's too pixelated, yeah, I agree, it's too pixelated with balanced. Yeah. I'm actually inclined to try ultra quality. But anyway. In my opinion, if you're playing on the go, put it at 20 watts, like this. How much battery life does this hit you? 90 minutes, 1.5 hours. Which might seem low, but the Steam Deck LCD going at full throttle also is 90 minutes of battery. The one that has a good battery is the Legion Go and the Steam Deck OLED. But you get pretty good performance on this one. Okay, ultra quality XeSS, so we have some extra pixels, 20 watts on battery, which I think, again, best of both worlds. It's not a huge battery difference, those 2 watts. ROG Ally battery, I just said it. So, again, 20 watts, 720p, ultra quality XeSS, maybe quality, ultra quality maybe it's a little bit too much, and low settings because we're on a handheld. You can go higher if you want to, maybe medium, but it's going to be lower performance basically. But the game still looks amazing like this. Yeah, but it's only a walking simulator. Well, there is combat, so it's not only walking, but it's the style of game. You know what you're getting into. I mean, it's not for everyone. I get it, but we're talking about performance here. And there we go. We're closer to native 720. On the smaller screen, it's going to look gorgeous, despite not being native 1080. Oh, and I forgot the FPS counter. My bad, guys. Yeah, maybe quality XeSS, but still. What I'm trying to say is this is very impressive for a handheld. I wish batteries had more capacity though. Yeah, no, ultra quality is too much. Let's put it on quality. Yeah. And I'll probably restart the game at this point. Alright. With VRR, it's fine. I mean, if you're below the VRR target, it's going to do a reprojection of the frames. So you're not going to have screen tearing. But considering, considering this is a very high-end game, I'm blown away with how it runs on a portable machine. Yep, decent resolution. I'm going to do the Steam Deck one more time right after this, because there's some people there that are annoyed. But that's okay, I understand. Yeah, the Steam Deck is not good enough for this, but it has other advantages that the ROG Ally doesn't have. Also, I might install Bazite on the ROG Ally, so we have like a Steam Deck experience on the Ally. Maybe it's a better experience, who knows? Is Windows OS bloated on Steam Deck? It's bloated on everything. Windows is bloated on everything. So one more time, just to close the video, basically. 720p, XeSS quality, FSR3 looks horrible in this game, and it runs worse. VRS, you can turn it on, I didn't notice much of a difference. And the low preset, which in this game is very good looking actually. We're at 20 watts, 720p, 90 minutes of battery basically, is drawing 30 watts in total, including the screen, the processor, the controls, the SSD, and there are some stutters here and there unfortunately. But when you launch the game, it has UE5 IDs, but not as bad as in other UE5 games, luckily.
Who are you?
But it's definitely noticeable.
My name is I come from a settlement nearby. I came here to see
Isn't there a light version of Windows 10 that uses... Yeah, but those are custom, not official. Most people are not going to bother. And I don't know why this stutters. Maybe it's because of the VRAM usage.
What were the Draga doing?
That I'll have to investigate.
Creature, drawing her forth with.
Yeah, you also have Windeck that is less bloated.
And I was an offering. But why?
But, well, also, one thing. On the Steam Deck, I disabled some stuff that Windeck does, but manually.
What if she comes back?
So it's actually a bit better than stock Windows on the Steam Deck, what I installed.
We should leave as well.
We find new ones where we can.
This land is cursed, Senua. We will only find death.
Alright, main menu. How does Linux run? Runs the same in this case. Okay, one more time this, then I show you the beginning of the game, and we swap to the Steam Deck super quick. Yeah, on Deck, for what I heard, this is the same thing on Linux. This game, I mean.
Cuts through the chaos. He is her next.
But again, I'm not sure why the frame time spikes,
She will bear
because it compiles shaders before playing the game.
She will free him.
So they definitely need to figure that out. Or maybe just a reboot of the ROG Ally fixes the issue, I don't know. Sometimes that happens. Instead of Windeck on the ROG Ally, consider installing Bazite. Sorry, Windeck, what am I talking about? You can install Windeck, but it has the drivers preloaded, I think. That's why the ROG Ally might be difficult to install Windeck. So as you can see, in combat is fine. The stutters is what bothers me. Otherwise, on the ROG Ally, I'm blown away by what I can do here. It's crazy. And if you're plugged in, you can actually increase the resolution quite well. But most people are probably playing portable. So just do 20 watts and enjoy 1.5 hours. Oh, I'm dead. There we go. It's just, I hope the stuttering is not a recurrent issue. Okay. That's fine. And finally, the beginning of the game. The part that we're actually walking around. That is less demanding, but I just wanted to show you that. The storage requirements, they don't consider extra stuff like shader cache and compact files. Yeah, definitely, I've been there. Yeah, the shader caches can be gigabytes in size. But I don't get the stutter. Again, I think I should restart the ROG Ally. Because at the beginning it wasn't stuttering like this. Yeah, I think it's using a little bit too much VRAM, but it's not using all the RAM. We have 16 gigs. And we're using like 13, 14, so we should have more than a gigabyte to spare. Yeah, the 64 gigabyte Steam Deck, I mean, it's good value if you replace the storage. It's cheaper than getting one of the more expensive versions. But with 64 gigs, it's not even an SSD, the 64 gig Steam Deck. It's an eMMC drive, which is slower than SSD. And if you consider the amount of storage the system uses, plus the games, plus the shared caches, it fills up very quickly. And games are huge. What's the GPU equivalent to the system? I have no idea. I haven't checked. Yeah, you can assign whatever VRAM that you want. Yeah, I know. That's something we might try. Maybe put it at 6 gigs. But you're going to take it out of the VRAM, of the system RAM, so maybe the game stutters even more. It's a fine balance. Okay. So before I close this game, again, 20 watts, 720p, quality XeSS, and quality XeSS, low settings, and you'll be good to go. You have 90 minutes of battery. But again, and if you plug it in, you can even play at 1080p with low settings and performance XeSS, but I would do 900p. And one thing I wanted to show you, because people are mentioning it in the chat, you can actually edit the allocated VRAM. Let me check, I forgot what it was, hang on. GPU settings, you can actually allocate more memory. I'll probably allocate 6 gigs, but you need to restart. So very quickly, we're going to try the 6 gigs. So we're going to only have 10 gigabytes of RAM and 6 gigabytes of VRAM. Just very quickly to see if the stutter is gone. And if it is, we can actually keep it like that. And then I'm going to jump back on Steam Deck and give it one more shot before we finish. But this makes sense. I mean, looking at a game like this, it makes sense why the ROG Ally X said that it's probably going to have more RAM. Well, imagine if it had, I don't know, 24 gigabytes of RAM. You could assign 8 gigabytes and you have 16 gigs of system RAM available. So that's a great solution. Plus the bigger battery, but it's more expensive. So, and the screen is still LCD. So those upgrades actually make sense, in my opinion. Just due to the RAM alone, it would be a big improvement if the rumors are true. Yeah, I mean, if it has higher RAM, it's probably worth buying. But again, it's $100 more than the base price of the Extreme. And the Extreme is probably going to drop in price. All right, so let me double check that the GPU is at 6, yeah, it is at 6 gigs. So now we have 10 gigabytes for the system. We're at 20 watts. Hang on, let me get out of this. I'll launch it right here. I have a mouse this time. But you can launch the game if you want from Armory Crate. That is pretty useful. Yeah, I mean, in a couple weeks, we're going to know more about the Ally X. Right now, it's all speculation. No, it's confirmed that we will have an LCD screen on the ROG Ally X. So the ROG Ally X is going to be the same chip, SID1 Extreme, but the screen will be the same. So they didn't bother with... Oh, sorry, my Wi-Fi is incorrect. So they didn't bother with adding an OLED screen, which sucks, but they're going to have a bigger battery. What we know is same screen, bigger battery, same chip. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather wait for the next gen APUs. Come on, where's my game? I hate when these things are buggy as hell. AMOLED or OLED is basically the same thing. AMOLED is still OLED. Alright, wish me luck. We were on 4 gigabytes, we're now at 6. So technically the game shouldn't stutter now. Technically. Is it free on Game Pass? Game Pass is not free, but yeah, it's on Game Pass. And again, thanks to Xbox for providing Game Pass to be able to play this. So if you have Game Pass, you can actually play it right now. It's available. Yeah, that's right. AMOLED is Samsung's spin on OLED. They use it a lot on phones, actually. Okay, so 720, XeSS quality, low preset. Let's see how the VRAM holds up. Let's go back to the part we were at a moment ago. Marco Antonio, ¿todo bien? Okay, as you can see, VRAM usage is much higher, which makes sense. We now have more available. Okay. Let's see, here I got a lot of stutters in the previous part. Let's see. It's actually pretty good like this. Okay, that fixed the issue.
You don't know. She never knows. Pathetic. Idiots. Stupid.
Well, thanks for the heads up on the 6 gigs of VRAM. I haven't thought about that. But as you can see, the game no longer has the consistent stutter. Way better. I would even put the textures on medium now. We should have room to spare. So great, this is great news, guys. And you can even increase the texture quality. Does deck get input lag? The deck just directly runs this below 30. Yeah, I literally downloaded more RAM. Yeah, this is so much better. Guys, definitely put it on 6 gigs. It's going to make a huge difference. Let's go to the demanding part. On Series S it has missing textures. Are you kidding me? Am I playing better on a portable machine? Yeah, I wish it had more RAM. If it had more RAM, it would be perfect. Because I could assign more VRAM.
He is her next sign, the next step.
Oh yeah, this is so much better.
She will bathe in blood, her sword will sing, and she will free him. Or die trying.
Yeah, guys, look at how stable it is now in comparison. The people that says that VRAM doesn't matter, look at this. I even think the frame rate is even higher, actually. Let me try something stupid. For some reason, I decide to use medium settings. Let's see if I'm completely out of my mind or not. Medium setting 720p. Okay. I'm a little bit out of my mind, actually. Okay. So it actually improved the frame rate, guys. That's cool as fuck. Just put GI on low. Let's put this down here. Okay, medium settings, low GI, low volumetrics. Okay, it's not perfect, but still, it's better than before. It used to drop into the mid-20s on medium. I'll still play on low with medium texture, so... yeah, definitely. Yep. Okay. I have my final verdict. You can do low settings, medium textures, but make sure that your VRAM is at 6 gigs. And you'll have basically 90 minutes of battery, 30 FPS, great visuals, smaller screen. Looks good. Yeah, it forces developers, the Series S actually forces developers to be good at memory management. I mean, they just need to make things work properly. Okay. So to finish up this video, before jumping into the Steam Deck once more, sorry, I'm so excited about this. We're going to plug it in and play on 1080p. Although I recommend, if you're playing plugged in, that you actually don't target 30 watts. I personally recommend you target 25, just because it gets way hotter and the performance difference is very small. But we're going to try it anyway. So we're at 25 plugged in. Although I think it's way more impressive to try to have it on battery, just because of the fact that it's a device to have on the go. Let's put this on performance. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm super happy. But now with the 6 gigs of VRAM, it's actually going to be pretty good, I'm guessing. So 1080p, which again I think is a little bit too much, as you can probably see, even plugged in. Let me see if at 30 watts it makes a difference. It would be nice to see. Yeah, no, it's still, as you can see, it's almost the same frame rate. Barely an improvement. There we go. Yeah, basically the same frame rate, but uses more power. So no, don't do 1080p. I mean, you can do it, but I don't recommend it. 900p would be best. But I do whatever you guys want. 900p, balanced maybe, or performance. Yeah, definitely performance. And this is not on battery, this is on wall. So yeah, if you want to play 900p, you can plug it in and do it. Maybe balance makes more sense here. And it looks very freaking good. Yeah, we weren't ready for 1080p on a handheld yet. I'm sorry about the pausing so often. Okay. Yep. Okay, I got the definitive thing. If you're plugged into the wall, 900p, quality XeSS, medium settings, low GI and volumetrics. Sorry, low settings. This is low settings. Low settings. Medium textures. 25 watts on wall. Yeah, I wanted to test Starfield again. It will be interesting. It's May 15th? What? May 15th update? It already came out. I'm waiting for the update that adds vehicles. So as I was saying, if you're plugged to the wall, 25 watts, 900p, quality XeSS, low settings, medium textures, and make sure, for the love of God, that your VRAM is set to 6 GB. You can do that in Armory Crate. And you have basically little to no stutter in comparison to the 4 GB frame buffer. And you should have 30s with, in demanding part, drops into the upper 20s, and you're plugged to the wall. And I already showed you the battery settings, so you can rewind for that. So let me show you the Steam Deck once more. The big one is on May 15th, but it's May 21st. You mean June? Okay, it's released, but it already has vehicles. Okay, so I'm doing it again. As some of you guys requested it. We're launching the game again on the Steam Deck. And again, the Steam Deck chip goes up to 15 watts. You can increase it, but the performance difference, I mean, you're basically overclocking it. The SoC is rated for 15 watts. That's what I'm trying to say. And the performance, whether we like it or not, is higher on the ROG Ally. If you have the OLED Steam Deck, you're going to have maybe 4 or 5 extra frames, but in this case, it does make the difference between 24 and 30 FPS. Okay, no vehicles for a while, gotcha. Hellblade 2 Series X, 900p 1080p 30, 3060, 900p 60. Man, if that's true, holy hell. Okay, they're supposed to add more. Okay, I'd rather they release a new Elder Scrolls. 720p ultra performance. Sorry, performance. Low settings. Okay, wish me luck. Can't wait for Digital Foundry on this game. Yeah, it will be interesting.
The one whose voice cuts through the chaos.
There you go.
He is her next sign, the next step on her path.
Is it an improvement? Definitely.
Bathe in blood,
But it's still not enough.
sing, and she will free him.
So again, the OLED Steam Deck will be way closer to 30, like 4 frames ahead, 5. So it's probably going to be over 30. But the resolution is way lower. We're talking about half 720p instead of 70% 720p. So do I recommend it on the Steam Deck? No, definitely not. At least not on the LCD one.
Get up, we have to get up. This can't be the end.
I'm sorry guys, I freaked up. I was trying to use my keyboard, but it was the wrong keyboard. Although now it's more solidly into the 29 FPS range.
Get up. You can do it.
So yeah. This is the LCD. The OLED is going to be above 30 more often. Okay. Let me show you this. And let's see. Because there's people saying, oh yeah, it runs at solid 30. Well, they maybe have an OLED Steam Deck and they maybe are playing the intro. Which the intro runs better. That's why you see 30s in the beach. It's obvious that the beach is going to run better. Just because of the fact that there is no foliage almost, there's very little effects in comparison to those fights. But the OLED, if it gets a few extra frames, it means the difference between the upper 20s and the low 30s. And again, and the resolution we're using is crazy low. It's 720p with performance XeSS. And on the Ally we were using quality and even ultra quality XeSS, and if you plug it in you can even do 900p. And it was a more solid frame rate. So obviously the Ally is faster, it was to be expected. But don't come and tell me that the Steam Deck can run it at solid 30, because that's not true. The OLED, maybe. But I don't know, I don't have an OLED one. It's basically, yeah, 320p. I don't think it's a good enough experience. Don't get me wrong, it's impressive that it runs at all at this frame rate. I don't know how it uses so little VRAM. Kinda crazy. Oh, it's compensating with RAM. Okay, I got you. It's the same thing. Yeah, I mean, for some people it is manageable. But don't tell me that it's perfect, because it's not. I hate when people overblow things. And also, due to the YouTube compression, it looks worse than it actually does in real life. But again, as soon as you get into combat, it's going to suffer quite a bit. You'll be below 30 across the board. But on the OLED, you're probably going to be way closer to 30 than here. Just because of the fact that 5 FPS more means the difference between 30 and 20. Yeah, I'll let the deck rest. It had enough for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did checking this on portable devices. I love the future. We can actually play new games that are on the consoles, on handhelds. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see ya next time. Bye guys. Thank you for watching. Love you all.